Hello, I'm Joseph Aleksiejczyk, and I'm doing my Facebook analysis on Nick Pearce. So we are going to incorporate the theories of impression management and dramaturgical theory into something that we all encounter every day, which are other people's Facebook pages. First, we're going to start off with some definitions. Dramaturgical theory is the idea that people have front and back stages. They act in front of other people or put on a show, and the backstage is where they're being themselves, free of trying to put on some kind of front. Impression management is the effort that is making an effort to make yourself appear to other people in a certain way. Some people on their Facebook pages might just constantly post things about sports teams and try and make sure everybody knows that they're a pretty big sports fan for that particular team would be an example of impression management. Just an active effort to make yourself appear how you want to appear to people. As part of this assignment, we were asked to fill out a form on what adjectives out of a list describe us. This form was called the Johari window, and it is used to help analyze how we see ourselves and how we are seen. I'm going to come back to this later and discuss how this ties in with how I see Nick, but below are a list of adjectives that Nick says would describe himself. Caring, clever, dreamy, extroverted, progressive, sociable, and wise are just a couple that he had listed. Now we're going to be taking a look at dramaturgical theory and how that relates to Nick and his Facebook page. As you can see, we have Nick's Facebook page. We're going to consider this to be the front stage in dramaturgical theory, where it's taken pretty seriously, and we can see that he's putting on a mask of showing that he's very active in theater, as you can see by the costume in his profile picture, and that he has it listed in his About Me. We're going to consider this to be an example of Nick's backstage. This is found buried in his tagged photographs, where you can see that he doesn't take things as seriously, and he allows himself to have more amusing and less serious theater-based information on his page. And this was actually a photograph that he was tagged in, not one that he posted. But you can see that he allows himself to, on the backstage, not keep things as serious as he did on the main page. Impression management and dramaturgical theories can have a lot to do with each other. In the earlier slide, we looked at the front stage that Nick gives us on his Facebook, and as we dig deeper into his Facebook, we can see that Nick employs impression management in order to craft his page to get people to perceive him as he wants to be perceived. Nick makes sure that his Facebook page is full of political articles and information involving politics, such as the Trump article and also this photograph of him that was edited with Facebook's Stand with Paris editor after the controversy that happened in Paris recently. Further down Nick's Facebook page, we can see even more political articles shared, and I think that this is a good example of why he chose a few of the adjectives in the Johari window to describe himself, namely progressive, wise, witty. We can see that one of the articles right here is a witty article, and obviously he's a bit progressive by sharing publicly political information, which a lot of people were told at a younger age not to discuss in public. Leary and Kowalski said that previous studies on self-disclosure and communication goals suggest that the publicity of the computer-mediated communication message motivates users to pursue an impression management goal. And I think that we can see this plain as day in Nick's Facebook page. He's obviously trying to show us that he is humorous, he is political, he is progressive. He wants us to see these things about him. Nick, in the Johari window, described himself as silly and imaginative. So scrolling deep into his Facebook page, we can see that he made sure that he liked and reviewed several popular comedy movies So that definitely backs up his claim of being silly, and he's making sure that we know that he's humorous and that he likes funny things. As far as his imaginative description about himself, in his Facebook page, he has likes and shares about Dr. Seuss and other children's books. And that, again, is him managing to make sure that we know that he's silly and imaginative, especially when it comes to movies and media. After looking at Nick's Facebook page and looking at his Johari window of himself, I think that he made a pretty accurate description of himself, and I think he's pretty self-aware. I would definitely attribute the following adjectives to Nick, saying that he's caring, cheerful, wise, sociable, and witty, just to name a few. Bazarova said such motivation also exists when people broadcast personal information on social network sites, and I think that this definitely ties in with Nick's Facebook page. He is certainly broadcasting personal information, and he's definitely motivated to do this in order to achieve some sort of impression upon people. In conclusion, I think that impression management was definitely used on Nick's Facebook page, especially in regards to his political posts and his information about the Theater program. I think that there's definitely evidence of dramaturgical theory in action. I think that Nick effectively used impression management to show that he's politically active, very involved with the Theater, and he wants everybody who visits his Facebook page to see all of that. Here we just have some of the works cited, the Journal of Communication, 64th edition, 2014. Another work cited, the Journal of Computer Mediated Communication. The final work cited,